The women's balance beam and the men's vault competitions taking place side by side in the National Gymnastics Arena. The Baku World Cup. It is a tried and tested event, a popular early season competition, and some of the gymnasts here are very used to competing in World Cup competition and also the very biggest events of all, the Olympic Games and the World Championships. Some of them are very new. Some squads, like the Italians, for example, are sending some younger contenders here. So good luck to all of them, and good luck to all of the men who are vaulting. The gymnasts have some contact time with the apparatus now. We use, as ever, in apparatus competition, the split warm-up system. So 4 gymnasts will warm up, then compete, and the next 4 will warm up and compete. And there, in the centre of the screen, a young lad from Azerbaijan, Alizada, getting ready for a big competition. We wish him the best of luck. The finalists in the men's vault competition and the top performer in qualification, the great Chepurnyi of Ukraine, superb vaulter, Youth Olympic Games gold medalist and a medalist of the last World Championships. Tanigawa Wataru was the second best qualifier. He will go 5th in the order. And what's particularly interesting about those 2 gymnasts is they have exactly the same 2 vaults. The women's balance beam competition, we're going to start with the top performer in qualification, Nemour, and she was topped by about 1.5 billion points. Extraordinary, had a gap of well over a mark. Then Okamura, who was the second best in qualification, will go second in the final. But if Nemour hits her routine as she did in qualification, well, it could be done and dusted very early on. Really was quite incredible. And that is the thing that's fascinating about the one and only Nemour of Algeria. She is regarded as one of the greatest uneven bars specialists in the world, and yet she is also clearly a balance beam specialist. That's evident from the numeracy that she's producing. And she's one of the great all-around gymnasts as well, came 4th at the World Championships. So she just gets better and better all the time we see her. Barzasi of Italy has been a medalist in World Cup competition. She won bronze on this apparatus in Doha in 2024. Made her World Championship debut in Jakarta at the end of last year. It's a jovial atmosphere on the sidelines. Here he is again, young Alizada. He won't have the sort of difficulty we imagine to really contend with the top performers, but he's got a couple of nice looking vaults, and all you can do in a vault competition is go out and deliver what you are capable of and not worry about the difficulty of others. Her difficulty, 6.6 in qualifying. Time to begin the action. Nemour of Algeria, 14.833 in qualification. It wasn't just top, it was top by almost 1.2 marks. She is the reigning Olympic champion on the uneven bars, but she is making quite a name for herself on this apparatus and in all-around competition. Let's see what transpires as we get the beam final underway. Does well to hold that busy opening sequence straight into an acrobatic phase of the routine. Beautifully aligned Very good toe point as well. Just hitting some of those classical ballet positions. Went briefly into attitude devant. Beautiful free walkover. Decent height, trying to get the legs up to horizontal. Very good horizontal axis, little oscillation. It's a very well-controlled display from Nemour. Into the dismount. Very nice double pike, great solidity in the landing, secure footing. Well, that's a very interesting first display. We go to the men's vault final, and this is Alexei Usachev, 23-year-old. Now we anticipate a Yo 2 for the first vault. That was very nicely performed, very central, a little bit of form imprecision here and there. His combination of vaults we're actually going to see right at the end of this final from the last gymnast, Sebastian Sponevik, but he's going to do them in the opposite order. So Usachev is one of a number of gymnasts who've got 2 5.2 difficulty vaults. 4 of the 8 are in that position. 2 of them are using this combination, and the other 2 are using a slightly different combination. We'll come to that later. Some of the leg form is not hugely precise. There's a bit of backwards adjustment as he lands. Slightly bent over perhaps, but it's a high amplitude vault. It was very central. Should get a competitive score. He was the 4th best in qualification. .066. That is up by 1/10 from the preliminary round. Now the Dragulescu is what we expect as the second vault. And we're going to see several of these, so opportunity for like comparisons. Indeed, there is the Dragulescu, and again, a very well-performed piece of gymnastics. Nemour, 13.8. She's got a 10th of penalty marks, I think, for a late conclusion to the performance. Difficulty down by half a mark, execution down a little. Nonetheless, that still was better than anything we saw in qualification, even though it was a drop by over a mark. Does give others a chance. Okamura Mana of Japan, 2nd best in qualifying, 13.666. What a lovely, graceful start. Almost floated through the mount sequence. She's the reigning Asian Games champion on this apparatus. That was a touch tentative, perhaps. The Asian Games coming up in Nagoya, in her home country, later this year. That was purposeful. Good height on the leg position. No issues of stability at all. Side side. Not really taking too many adjustments. Twisting round well. Sizable hop forwards as she lands, but that was nicely performed by Okamura. And it's a 14.166 for the second vault, much better than qualification. So 14.116 for Alexei Usachev. He's gained a few tenths from the preliminary round. Well done to him. Good luck to this young man. He's only 19. Made his World Cup debut in Cottbus at the start of the season. He was 11th in the vaulting competition there. Now this we anticipate being a roche, his first vault, so it's almost the same vault as the Dragulescu, but he'll land facing away from the table. Oh, almost. Good effort. 4 tenths lower in difficulty because it doesn't have that half turn of the body to come back facing the table. Goes up into the tuck position, quite straddled in terms of the leg position, knees very much out to the side. Fought as hard as he could to keep that upright. Yet to compete at World Championship level. Has been part of the Azerbaijan team at Junior World Championship level, though. That was last year in Manila. 13.033. So unfortunately for him, he is down by close to a mark from qualification due to that very awkward landing. This should be an Ekopian vault. It will be the only one in the final, so there will be no one copy in the Ekopian. Oh, little bit compressed as he landed. Looks like he's all right though. Well, that is fascinating. 14.133. She has gained about half a mark from qualifying. The execution score really high. Lower difficulty by 1/10 than Nemour, but all of that great stability sends Okamura into the lead. Now to Hribar Busuttil of Malta, the all-around bronze medalist at the Games of the Small States of Europe last year, and what a beautiful start. She's the national champion on the apparatus. Had a slightly wild beginning to the wolf turns and then got it back under control. Oh, nearly. Just had a little slip as she came down. Caught her by surprise. Nice walkover, does well to stabilise it. Putting good hard work into getting the legs up to horizontal. Excellent young gymnast. Masses of potential. Side aerial was good. A good twist to conclude as well. Really unfortunate that she came off with that little slip of the foot. Well, he's enjoyed the experience, hasn't he, no matter what. And the score for the second vault, 12.433, so 12.733 overall. Those landing issues contributing to a 1 mark drop compared to qualifying. Now, this is going to be so interesting because we've got 4 gymnasts, all of whom have 2 5.2 difficulty vaults. So we're going to come down to the really fine mechanics of execution. Nemour Chepurnyi was the top qualifier, only by just over a couple of tenths. Big Dragulescu. Oh, that's outrageous. It's an almost effortless looking Dragulescu. The 23-year-old Ukrainian. And the key to it is the explosivity on the takeoff. Lots of power, lots of height. That gives him time to bring the body around. He can keep the chest quite upright as he lands. Didn't have a big adjustment as he landed. Wasn't that a nice vault? He's the World Universities champion from the Chengdu Games in 2023. 2-time bronze medalist on this apparatus as well. Won the title at the first World Cup of the season. We just see him on the podium so often. And it's been really interesting to witness his physical strength develop as a gymnast as he's become more and more powerful. And he's become more secure in the execution too. .333, that's a very good score. It's very close to qualification. Now comes an interesting moment because for this second vault, the double twisting Kasamatsu, he picked up a penalty 10th. Stepped out of the tram lines. That's in qualifying. What about now? Oh, yes! Planted the feet. That is going to be hard to beat. 11.5 for Hribar Busuttil. We're going to see a lot more of her as her career develops. Nice to see a return to World Cup competition for Chiara Barzasi. The Italian was the 4th best in qualification. 13.033. Lovely. Seeing some good acrobatic series today. Very poised looking performance. Difficulty was 5.3 in qualification. 6.0 is the leading difficulty score. To take a little adjustment coming back down there, but it wasn't huge. Dismounts very well. Secure performance from the Italian, who made her World Championship debut last year. Now then, 14.549, the average for Chepurnyi, up a couple of tenths from qualifying. What's crucial is that he got the 1/10 bonus for not moving his feet on the landing. This is Kunst of Slovenia. He's been working hard to get his difficulty up. Did lots of roches last season. He's got a Dragulescu that he's going to perform here, and he wasn't quite there. The 24-year-old from Rajice in the east of Slovenia, very close to the border with Croatia. Doesn't have as much height to play with by comparison to someone like Chepurnyi. He was fourth in this competition last year. Went on to win a bronze medal at his home World Cup in Koper. That was a really special moment for him. Very interesting guy, has strong social media presence, does lots of video creation. I think even though the score will be substantially lower than the 14.2 he received in qualification, there's great reason to be very optimistic if you're a fan of this gentleman. .13.5, so it is a drop of 7/10 compared to the preliminary round. Now the vault that he's indicating is a low yun, 4.4 degree of difficulty. So this a much lower degree of difficulty compared to the second vaults of most of the gymnasts, but there will be a solid execution score for Kunst. Very well done, Chiara Barzasi, 13.233. She gains 2/10 compared to qualification, and she's done that in difficulty. Execution remained the same. So let's just remind ourselves of the lay of the land on the beam. We've got Okamura Mana in the gold medal position, 14.133. Nemour second, 13.8, and Chiara Barzasi, 13.233, occupies bronze. Still to come, we have got the 8th best qualifier, the 5th best qualifier. Following that, and that 5th best qualifier is Miyata Shoko. We're going to see Lucia Hribar, who's the 6th best qualifier, and then we'll finish with Angelica Finiguerra of Italy, the 3rd best qualifier. Now, the men's vault is very interestingly positioned because we've still got 2 gymnasts with a double 5.2 degree of difficulty combination. Tanigawa Wataru is the first of them, and he will be the first to go in the second half of the final. But the execution is going to need to be quite splendid to address Nazar Chepurnyi's lead. for Benno Kunst. Very nice, the second vault at 13.5. 13.5 actually for both of the vaults. So that gives you an interesting tale of the tape when it comes to execution, that he was 0.8 higher for difficulty on the first, but 0.8 lower in execution. Nezar Chepurnyi leads on a very compelling 14.549. The score for Tanigawa in qualifying was 14.066. Famous last words, but one would expect him to be higher than that in the final. And the wild card in all of this is Sebastian Sponevik, the Norwegian, who's the last to go. It's always fun when you have a final gymnast coming up in a final, and there he is, who's got the difficulty to win the whole thing, but the execution in qualification saw him just scrape in. He was the lowest qualifier, but with the second vault that had an 8.2 execution score. So I'll leave you wondering about that. Let's continue this enjoyable women's beam final. This is Anastasia Lev of Ukraine. New senior. She was 14th in the all-around competition at the Junior World Championships last year. She is certainly somebody who, if there's an execution improvement, could go way higher than the 8th place that she qualified in. And maybe the routine's just starting to find itself, pick up pace. Important sequence coming here, and nicely controlled. Threatened a little loss of stability at times, but it didn't happen. Controls the side somi. And the first gymnast to dismount in the tuck position. Went round a couple of times, little piked as she landed, but very good from Anastasia Lev. Now, here is Tanigawa Wataru. How privileged we are to be in the company of an Olympic champion, part of the fantastic Japanese team that won the gold medal in Paris. Second best performer in qualification. Now, he is going to do the same 2 vaults we saw right at the start from Alexei Usachev, but in the opposite order. So this should be the Dragulescu to begin. Oh, it is the Dragulescu. Forget about it. That's outrageously good. But I think you could probably tell from the moment he made contact with the table that this was going to be top quality. The height gives him ample time to come round and land. Now, if one is to be pedantic, and that is what the judges are there to do, to apply the code of points very strictly, he was a little bent in the midsection as he landed, and that will carry a small deduction. But the foot placement was exceptional. .233 in qualification. He's a big believer, Tanigawa Wataru, as he scores 14.333, 66 even, 14.366 Big believer in trusting the training process. Works incredibly hard. Now, second vault. And that was the double twisting Kasamatsu. He's going to be absolutely up there in contention. Whether he's got enough execution to beat Nazar Chepurnyi, we'll find out. Anastasia Lev, 12.833. Well done to her. She's up by a few tenths from qualifying. Miyata Shoko, fifth best in qualification, 12.966. Oh, that was a little tentative switch leap beginning. Layout was nice looking. It's a real authority to her choreography. As a result, there is a very organic feel to the routine because each skill just seems to sort of evolve out of a piece of choreography. Demonstrated there with how she comes out of the side somersault into just movement with presence, movement with clarity. It really is memorable. Of course it's memorable, it's Miyata Shoko. And then the double pike to conclude, powerful work. Very good, 14.233, he's gained a couple of tenths almost from qualifying. Gains 2 tenths on the second vault. Silver medal position at the moment. Now we have the sibling partnership of the Hribars competing today. First Anze in the men's vault final. His sister's coming up later on. 2 4.8 difficulty vaults we expect here. First should be a Roche, and he was actually a little overcooked on that. Lots of power, lots of height. I'll look back at this from this angle, which will illustrate the extent to which he's quite over-rotated as he comes down. Well, not quite over, a little over-rotated. I'm being a touch harsh, I think. Just a slightly jarred landing more than anything else. The tuck position is probably not quite as tidy as some of the others that we've seen, quite a splayed position of the legs, but it's powerful. And it was well centered. A real classic floor vault gymnast, Anze Hribar. Somebody whose progress actually over the last couple of seasons has been splendid. He loves the really explosive acrobatic side of artistic gymnastics, which is why he loves tumbling. It's why he loves vault. Not as passionate about things like rings, parallel bars. 13.5. 3 tenths down from qualifying. Second vault should be the 1.5 twisting Kasamatsu, so he'll face away from the table. Little hop forwards, but well executed. Couple of nice vaults there from Anze Hribar. No surprise that that's way better than qualification. 13.533. The big gain there comes in difficulty, 5 extra tenths. Forget that, 6 extra tenths. My maths is better. There's Hribars everywhere you look at the moment. Here is Anze's sister Lucija. Best known for her work on the uneven bars, but she has been a World Cup medalist on beam. Here's another of the great disciplined gymnasts of the world. Unfortunately, loses a full mark. Great worker, great attitude to training. And an Olympian. Did so well to get to the Games in Paris. More recently, was 20th in the all-around competition at the last World Championships. Good side, Somi. Dismount is relatively simple, but performed with absolute clarity. Lucija Hribar. Anze Hribar in 4th place, 13.65, 13.8 for the second vault, down just a few hundreds from qualifying. Now another gymnast who we think will have 2 4.8 difficulty vaults. Kalny of Czechia. This is probably going to be the only round-off entry vault. Schufelt is what he's going to attempt. Rather nice. I think he came close to going out of bounds. 2.5 twisting Yurchenko. Keeps the heels quite together, gets the arms nice and wrapped into the body for the most part. Must have had very mixed emotions at the last World Championships. Performed ever so well, made the first reserve position in the vault final. Just didn't quite manage to sneak into it in 8th place, but a great performance. He was 4th at the World Cup in Germany at the start of the season. .9. Small drop in execution from qualifying, just over a tenth. 1.5 twisting Kasamatsu, the expected second vault from Kalny. It's another nice vault. again with an adjustment that goes towards the tram lines. Hribar, 10.8. Unfortunately, the difficulty goes down by 5/10 and the execution by a little more. So almost a 2-mark drop. Now the final performer. This is Angelika Finiguerra. Nice sense of control in the mount. New senior. Congratulations to her on her debut. And she was the 3rd best in qualification as well. Performing this very methodically, very precisely. Working hard to try to link as much as possible. This is a performance of assuredness from a young athlete. She's got a lovely ability actually on beam to just slow time for a moment. She seems to be able to almost pause in the air. A lot to enjoy about that from Angelika Finiguerra. Anze Kalny, 13.783. So he's in 4th position. And now we go to a really interesting way to finish. It's always interesting when he's vaulting because he's a bold gymnast, Sebastian Sponevik. He'll go for it. Turns 21 in a week's time. 8th best in qualifying, but he's got 2 big vaults. He has the difficulty to get onto the podium. How's it going to be? Dragulescu the first. Well, that's a good start. That's a very good start. It is not the tidiest of all of the Dragulescu vaults that we've seen, but it has the difficulty. The leg position's good, trying to get the knees into the chest rather than out to the side. He was 18th in the all-around competition at the last World Championships, by the way. Great accomplishment. Seven times he's been a Nordic champion. He's been the Northern European champion on vault. .116 is the average score that currently holds bronze. There we go, 14.333. So that is an improvement of 4/10 from qualifying. Now, the real test. Not that that Dragulescu wasn't a significant challenge, but what I mean is the real test is this second vault that scored only 13.4 in qualification. It is going to be a 5.2 difficulty vault. If he gets this right, he's going to win a medal. Good luck to him. And he wasn't quite there again. Well, it was a case of nearly but not quite for Sebastian Sponevik. It's one of the things you have to learn as a new senior gymnast. Not just how to handle the occasion, but how to deal with two people in giant, peculiar mascot costumes sitting next to you. You're going to do the Baku World Cup. That's what's going to happen. 12.8 for her. Very promising gymnast. The classified results in the beam competition: bronze to Miyata of Japan, silver to Algeria's Nemour, and the gold medal won by Japanese gymnast Okamura. Waiting on Sebastian Sponevik's score, but there won't be any change to the leaderboard. Set himself up so well with that great Dragulescu. .533, so unfortunately 6th place for the Norwegian, 12.733 for the second vault. The classified results in the vault competition: Alexei Usachev wins bronze, Japan's Tanigawa Wataru takes silver, and Ukraine's Nazar Chepurnyi wins the gold medal.
Award ceremony for men's vault final.
The victory ceremony for the men's vault competition. Bronze to Alexei Usachev.
Second place and silver medalist Tanigawa Wataru, Japan.
Silver to Tanigawa Wataru of Japan.
First place and gold medalist Chepurnyi Nazar, Ukraine.
The gold medal won by Ukraine's Nazar Chepurnyi.
The medals are presented by Steve Butcher, Men Artistic Gymnastics Technical Committee, member of the World Gymnastics.
This really was a high quality final. He did brilliantly, particularly that fantastic second vault. The national anthem of Ukraine.
Please stand and show respect for the national anthem of Ukraine. Congratulations!
The medalists in the men's vault competition.
award ceremony for women's balance beam
Victory ceremony for the
final.
women's balance beam
Third
competition.
place and bronze medalist Miyata, Japan.
Very successful competition for the Japanese. Bronze to Miyata Shoko.
Second place and silver medalist Nemour, Algeria.
Silver to Algeria's Nemour.
First place and gold medalist Okamura,
What a performance from Okamura of Japan. Second best in qualification, but she added almost half a mark to her score from the preliminary round. Not the first time she's won a World Cup beam title. And we will now have the national anthem of Japan. The medalists in the women's beam competition at the Baku World Cup.